Okay. First off, I absolutely realize this is not the way to do this. But since how I am working on and with limited things or tools, recording tools, this is how it's going to happen. So that's, I think I've got 40 pounds in that backpack right now. And first of all, let's see. Yeah, this is not for everyone. I have had a lot of physical impairments such as knee surgery, left forearm repair surgery, lots of shots in my shoulders. So I've got several disabilities that I'm attempting at 53 years old now to strengthen with some pretty intense strength training and pool. I'm not saying this is the way, I'm saying this is the way that I do it. So I just know there's a lot of people out there that are going to tell you a lot of things about how to play pool, and what I've found has helped me is repetition and consistency. As you can see here, I'm placing every ball accurately on the spots, but in the process of doing so, I'm practicing my footwork. I'm looking at the lights on the top of the ball and the placement of my stick with the other balls. I'm training my eye to perceive straight lines and angles over and over and over and over again. So that's what they're not going to tell you about pool, is you have to have some serious mental problems such as OCD, ADHD, ADD. I have all these, okay? So, and also have social anxieties in public that I'm overcoming. You have to be able to be alone and practice harder than you will ever play in public, just to be able to get over the anxieties that it takes to play high caliber pool. So these are practice routines that I created with the weights and the tension band. That's CJ Wiley turned me on to that with some lessons that I took from him in Shreveport, Louisiana, which was life-changing, and that's why I implemented that into my practice routines with how I approach each ball right now is my footwork. And if you're not standing square with the shot, I'll show you in a minute, you'll see it. We're going to get to that. So, I'm sorry, see, that's the ADHD. That's why I don't like doing these. But we'll get through it. We'll all learn. So yeah, basically what I'm doing is seeing the lights on the top of the balls, lining the lights up with the stick, making sure that my front foot is up and over, out of the way. See, I have plenty of room. I'm not going around my hip. My hip's bent out of the way. And this is not meant to make every ball. But that backpack on your back is teaching you what is proper feet position, because with the weight, it allows you to be able to feel when your feet is a little far to the right or far to the left, because when you bend over with the weight on your back, it makes you feel it in your feet, whether your weight is on the heel or whether it's on the toe. So the heel or the toe. I was a boxer and a cage fighter, so you're going to hear me reference a lot of things and pull back to fighting stances in boxing. And that's because that's how you feel what's going on. You know, it all has to start with the base, the feet. And then you build up the strength in your back. And then you build up the strength in your arms. It'll take you six months just to get your body lined out in a proper way to where you're shooting correctly. Nobody wants to go through that. I'm 5 years into it, well, 6 years into this now. I got some videos where I was 260 pounds overweight. Stance was nowhere close to what you're seeing right now, and I'll put those up. I'll show those. That's almost, go look at some of my past videos while you're liking and sharing this video. So as you can see, little short compact strokes. And like I said, this is strength training. You're not going to see a perfect stroke. You're not going to see perfect pause with every shot. This is just building the muscles that it takes to play the game of pool competitively. Why I put all these on all the spots is to teach myself to be able to make all these movements in tight situations. And that's a lot of pull too. You know, you've got to, when you miss something, go back. Do it over and over and over until you're restructured in your mind the way it's supposed to be. And you feel the way it's supposed to feel when it goes. Because if you just miss it and then shoot it without correcting the problem, you're what's the word? Reimbursing bad behaviors. And that's what this is about, is trying to stop bad behaviors by adding weight to the upper body to add strength, adding 40, 50, I think that's a 50-pound tension band. That way you can get a straight through stroke every time without thinking about it. So when you take all this off, that weight's going to be off. You see how my body's twisted? That takes, you can't imagine how odd this is going to feel when first trying this. Somebody once said, if it feels right, then you're doing it wrong. You got to feel cranked up and twisted in order to be in the proper position when you get to the ball. It's all preloading the body. You've got to learn to preload the body in your stance and in your stroke And yeah, it's not what they tell you it is. Yes, I absolutely agree. Everyone needs the knowledge of what the ball does. Left, right, up, down. That's a whole nother tutorial video. This is just on strengthening the muscles in the body that it takes to have a proper stance and stroke to play this game competitively. This is what it's going to take in the future. You're looking at the future of training in billiards. Because if you're not training this way, the dudes that are going to run over you. I promise you that. Yeah, see, the elbow and the arm is all crooked. But once you take all that off, now the strength is there without the restriction and constriction to perform the shot properly. And I'm just trying to pick these balls off, making sure that I'm standing right, that I'm lined up right, I'm shooting. That's definitely not out of the center of my chest. I said, strength training is like doing repetitious curls or sit-ups or pull-ups. It's not meant to really look pretty. It's meant to serve a purpose. The purpose is to get stronger so you can become a stronger player. That's the only way to be a better player, is to be a stronger player. The only way to be a stronger player is to strength train in the sport of which you are playing. Say I have some strategy to what's going on too. I'm trying to make these balls. I'm not chalking very much. I'm not tripping about chalk. That pocket was full of balls. So you're trying to stay into a flow state. You know, you're not doing one arm pull up and then waiting 10 or 15 minutes and doing another one. You're trying to do them back to back to back. And that's what I'm doing here, is trying to set up and shoot, set up and shoot. And that's teaching me the wrist action too. You know, there's power in the wrist. That's why you'll see me sometimes, I'm not even moving my forearm. Most of it is just wrist flicking motions. Now I'm trying to find a way back in, you know, back into flow. Back into this end of the table. Something that makes sense. And that's what I say. Staying in a flow state and continuing to work out towards a common goal is more important than putting the balls back. It's more important than shooting all hard shots. We're not trying to shoot hard shots here. We're trying to set up straight 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ball runs without missing, with the weight on the back and the tension bands on the arms to build strength and balance. Strength and balance. Strength, balance, and also agility. You know, you have to have the agility and the ability to stand in those different positions, to hold those poses, to make those shots. That takes strength. That's not just knowledge. Care what anybody tells you. It's how much he tells you how to shoot it. You got to strength train to be able to make those shots, like Florian Venom and Jason Shaw. That's strength training, man. You want to play like those dudes? This is what it's going to take, you know. I've had people tell me, you can show it, but nobody's going to do it. Nobody's going to take the time to do what you do. I said, okay, we'll see. See if I don't change the pool world. It's going to be a strength and power game. Finesse can only go so far. I mean, Fedor Gorst, man. I don't even know how that dude. It's power. That's that youth, power of youth, power and youth, and speed and agility. You know, and it's finesse with Filler and all those guys. Billy Thorpe, power. You know, he's just up and coming. But this is just one part of demon training systems that over the past 5 years I've built to help me reconstruct my body at the age that I am to be able to compete with younger players. Say I deal with a lot of mental things in my game. It's not just physical disabilities. So that's where I've been watching some older players like John Disque that is helping me with the confidence in the mental game again. It takes a lot of confidence, a lot of mental fortitude to play this game. Just keep going and mowing through like I'm doing now, you know what I mean? Ball after ball after ball, rack after rack after rack, all day long by yourself with nobody else in the room. That's what it takes to become a professional pool player. It's what you do when no one else is around is what's going to make the difference. Not when you're in the bar playing with your friends. There's nobody else in the room. Nobody here but me. My favorite shot. See the pattern. See the pattern. Nobody here but me. My favorite shot. My favorite shot. See the pattern. Nobody here but me. That's the mantra. Watch the movie. You'll know. Trust me, I've watched every one. I've studied tens of thousands of hours of watching YouTube videos on all the best pool players and their techniques and their styles and what to do and what not to do and how to shoot, touch it inside and shoot the ball, stay at the outside. I've heard it all, you know, and it comes down to repetition, strength, endurance, and making every shot the same. It's like this 2-rail. I knew where it goes. You know, I have a system. I'm shooting a system. If you're not shooting a system, then they're going to run off and leave. I hope this helps. Sharing life.